Hello everyone and welcome to this new... my camera's not doing well. Oh no! There we go. How is everyone doing? Tonight we are talking with Kathrine Richter. Hello Kathrine, welcome. Oh, you have a severe audio delay. Can you say something again, please?
Hello.
Perfect. We can hear you now.
I can say something right now. Is it okay?
You are
Good.
audible. Perfect. So thank you for being here. Lovely to have you this evening. What are we going to talk about?
Well, we're going to talk about gender equality, women in politics, and empowerment of. I'm going to go with empowerment of people.
Amazing. That's really cool. Thank you so much. Empowerment of people. That's a statement you're making, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Nice.
I think that's what I'm here to do, right?
That's correct. That's correct. I hope so, at least. Maybe yeah, because that's we try to do that with Volt right now. But it's of course also a difficult topic for some, right?
Yeah. Yes, I mean, look, I am of course being a little bit pushy on this because I think to have truly gender parity or gender equality, we also need to empower each and every individual to truly be, their best self and to do what they like to do. And I'm in Denmark. I'm based here in Copenhagen, and the discussions and the narratives have been slowly transitioning in the sense that traditional gender roles are being challenged, and not only from the perspective of traditional gender studies or anything, but you have parents, redefining how to be a parent. You have siblings redefining how to be in a family. You have and in the workplace, how gender is perceived.
Mm-hmm.
And so it takes a lot of courage for each individual to break away from a traditional understanding of their gendered role.
Yeah.
And what we were talking about earlier tonight, I said, you guys invited me to come tonight, and of course I said yes. And it's something that I think we forget a lot is, the step one is, I think, is to be invited. And to be invited means that that your opinion is being valued, and that your approach and your thoughts are being valued. And just that understanding and that trigger, I think, is the very, very, very important first step to challenging what our perceptions might be. And it takes a lot of courage, and that's why people empowerment, because it takes a lot of courage to revisit your own understanding and your own preconceptions and your own understandings of your own gender. And I mean, it's a process that we go through because society changes, and so everything that our parents gave us in terms of generic roles or generic understanding of roles,
Yeah.
we need to be able to revisit that through our lifetime. And things change very quickly these days.
That's really cool. It really resonates what you're saying, at least for me. It's something I am going through, trying to do all the time myself as well. It's just challenge my preconceived notions. Luckily, the people who raised me were always very open and always pushed me to push past the narratives which were imposed on me via my surrounding, of course. And I'm very lucky to have that here, and that's something I'm very happy to, hopefully contribute a bit to. So thank you so much again for being here. Let me formally introduce you, if that's all right with you, because that's really cool. You're quite a powerhouse, if I may say so myself. I hope I don't embarrass you, but yeah, you're quite prolific, right? So just pulling up your LinkedIn, because there's so much I can't just do it from the top of my head. So you made your like you joined Volt a while ago due to Brexit, right? And
I think we all, yeah.
we all did. That's of course that's the whole
We
reason.
all did.
That's the whole reason why Volt came to be. But before that, you even created your own political party, right?
Yes, I was again. I was asked. It was very funny. There was a yeah. I showed up, which is another step you have to take. Show up, and we had a discussion, and I was asked to join in as co-founder, but I was also the only the only one with long hair around the table that evening. But I think, but it also, but it tells me, it reminds me of something very important. Showing up is the first step. And, that's something that I think we tend to forget, that so many opportunities are there for the taking if we just show up.
Right. Yeah, you mentioned that a bit earlier, and there's going from here and there all the time, but that's also the fun behind it, of course. Because the first thing you said was so happy to be invited, but it's also about showing up, right? That's getting the opportunity, being there when the opportunity presents itself, but also being handed the opportunity. Is there, yeah, that's of course where the difficulties lie, right? Being offered, but also taking them. Is that, am I distilling that right?
That's a very good point, because it's a it's not a one-way street. We have to also, gender equality is by its very definition equality, give and take, and so it's not enough. It isn't enough to simply say, look, we wrote something in our job advertisement to suggest that women should also apply. If, for example, the text of the job advertisement is just completely filled with KPIs and traditional, strong masculine terminology and competition and is that an invitation, or is that just a ticking of a box?
Right. Yeah.
So
it doesn't make you feel very welcome now, I guess.
It certainly means that yeah, I mean, it certainly means that there might be a door, but it might not be a very open door.
Yeah. It's it might not be just a wall anymore, but it's also not the most friendly thing. Yeah. So moving back, so can you, like, what made you become politically active? Like, what was in there?
A friend of mine texted me on the 24th of June, 2016, and she's living in Berlin with her British husband, and she just had a sad emoji face. And I hadn't really thought that the UK would leave. Honestly, I hadn't thought that. And then I just, it had been so much throughout the media in 2016, Brexit, and Denmark, we have a very strong relationship with the UK traditionally, and we just couldn't really believe it. But I just thought to myself, if that can happen in the UK, what could happen in Denmark?
Right.
And I looked around and look, if I don't say anything, how can I be upset that things are happening if I'm not actually doing something? Yeah. And but it took a while for me, because at that time I wasn't very social media active. I wasn't like a big prolific writer and me or big selfies or anything. I was doing what the majority of people are doing, were doing, when they first started Facebook. Oh, look, there's a picture of me at a party, and also this is a great sunset. Woo! So it really took me a long time to learn how to be comfortable putting myself out there.
Right.
So when Trump was elected about 5 months later, I sat up all night, and I was I couldn't believe it. I remember falling asleep in Florida was still to the Democrats, and I woke up and all of a sudden Florida had gone to the Republicans. I was like, what happened? And the following morning, I went to work, and I took that next step. I said, look, again, if I'm not doing anything, then how can I rely on other people to do it? I mean, you have to start with yourself. Yeah. And I tried to sign on. I tried to register with the Danish political party, and the sign-in button didn't work.
No,
clicking on
really?
the button. And it didn't work. And I was like, oh, screw this.
So it really, really was the difference between a click of the button, or you would have been somewhere else. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, thank God for that button then.
Actually, yeah. I won't say which party it was. we can take that later. But then after that, I think, you know, I'm not very much, you know, I don't really think that you send out things into the universe and the universe replies back. But I was certainly in the mental state of saying, I'm curious now. I want to learn more. I want to know more. Yeah. And then this friend of mine, I was on Facebook, and a friend of mine, acquaintance of mine, had pressed, like, you know, interested on an event. And again, it says a lot about, and I think that we all underestimate how much it actually means that your friends do actually support a product or support a thing. And so everyone who's online right now, please go and share something from Vault in your local chapters. Do it now, because your friends might see it. And
putting in a Vote Vault GIF here. Vote Vault, yeah. Double V.
Exactly, everywhere. Everywhere. And then I you know, I turned up to this event, and this was a small startup political party in Denmark called the Progressives, and I had no idea, zero idea. I just knew that traditional political parties was just, I couldn't really see myself as someone coming in a traditional political party, because I hadn't been a youth politician. I hadn't been part of anything in the, you know, growing up. And in Denmark, I certainly had the impression that unless you had been part of a youth movement or had been active in politics since you were like 14, you were like too late. And by that time, I was 35, 6-ish. So. Right. Right. So I thought, way too late. I can't get into any, or it doesn't make any difference if I join an established political party. But anyway, so I turned up to this meeting, and a couple of hours later, you know, co-founder thing, you know. So it was very, it went very, very quickly.
That's really
and I learned
cool.
so much.
Wow, impressive. Also, a chat from a message from Guimaret. That's Louise. Catherine's with Volt because of a bug and time to do some code reviewing, because that's what Volt stands for, right? Digital Ministry of Digital Affairs and good software. Just like putting that out there. But moving on with that, because that's not our theme for tonight.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, but that's really cool. And then from there, you moved on to Volt for some magical reason. Oh, can you? I think
I did. Do you want to know why? Do you want to know why?
Yes, please tell me.
That's all right.
There was a bit of an audio lag. Just
yeah. No, you know, I was ambitious. I was ambitious, and you know, I asked, you know, why don't you make me head of policy? And the guy leading the party was like, no, I don't think so. I think I'm the one who's the policy lead. Okay, interesting. Well, then I'm not part of this party anymore. And I felt really sad, because I had invested a lot of time and energy, and you know, personal capacity as well, personal time and everything. But it was fortunate, because I had this experience and had all this. I'd learned so much on how to be political and how to be aggressive in social, or not aggressive, but to, you know, to just try things and see what happens, and to set up an association, to do all the paperwork. I'd learned that.
Yeah, be proactive and get your stuff done. Nice.
Yeah, and so by the time I met with Volt, I was trained. I had been to boot camp.
So that was more Like your other political experience is more like a traineeship then.
Yeah, sandbox. Yeah.
Sandbox. Oh, that's the best actually. Okay, so and then you're here and you're quite prolific within Volt, right? You're the lead of Volt Denmark. You are very active in Workplace as well, which is for the non-Volters. It's our platform where we discuss everything. So I mean it's too much to name for me. So maybe you can fluff yourself up a bit. Like what are you all involved in within Volt?
Well, so first of all, you can't be active in Volt unless you're efficient.
That's definitely true. Everyone can attest to that.
And I think that's something that we all have our different coping mechanisms, but I found very early on that having an opinion is only a bad thing if it's an uninformed opinion.
Right.
So I think it's important to maintain. So I have a little, I don't know, I'm going to call it like a safety feature or something. But you see something and don't always, you shouldn't always say something just because you see something. But if something triggers you, triggers me, I take a little bit of, I'll take a few minutes, a few seconds to kind of understand within myself, okay, why am I triggered here, or why am I interested in this, and why is it important to me? Why is it important, and why is it strategic to have an opinion on this topic? Because a lot of things are completely ridiculous and doesn't matter, and that's just a chat and doesn't matter at all. But then there are some things which you need to, which I really firmly believe that, taking responsibility in building something and making something happen also means that you present your arguments and your ideas in a constructive and informed way. And so I don't want to end up in some sort of back and forth, 25 emails or a chat that's a mile long. It's literally, and this is what I do really, really like about Volt is that we do understand efficiency, and I think that's probably why I'm able to be across a lot of topics. Firstly, because I'm super interested in many different topics, but also because I keep asking myself, what's the why is it strategically important? What is a long game? And why is it important to me to have this say?
Yeah.
And I think, that again, it's something that I've trained myself in doing, evaluating within myself, why do I care?
Right.
And is it a good reason? Is it a good enough reason?
I mean, if you can't filter it out, you will drown. Like the workplace, it's eat or be eaten there. It's a jungle.
Is it though? Is it though? I feel that we can. I think we can certainly be a lot more efficient if we, rather than posting something, oh look, I just discovered this new idea. Just search first. Has that idea already been mentioned somewhere else? Is somebody already working on it?
I mean,
because
10 times maybe.
That can save a lot of time.
I mean, that's the thing, of course, right? You're I remember it very fondly myself when I was a young whippersnapper. I joined Volt and I had those great ideas, and I was like, I'm going to implement all of them. And then I found out that 9 out of 10 ideas were there, of course, because who would have figured? All the excitement meant because you can contribute, but don't think you have original ideas because there are so many.
But isn't that nice?
People. It's really nice. Yes, I loved it. It made me feel like, oh, they're all here already. I'm home. Oh, there's a severe audio delay, ladies and gentlemen. We see Kathrine talking. We see Kathrine talking.
I'm not the only woman, or I'm not the only person. I hope it's okay now.
It's better now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You okay, all right, okay. Very good. I think there should be an appreciation of if somebody else has already come up with the idea, great. You don't have to
Yes.
do it. Terrific.
Yes.
Tick. Done. Move on. I think there is a and I don't know whether that's a pride issue or an identity issue, but I certainly think that there is there is a value in recognizing other people's work and just hey, thumbs up, you did that.
No, it's really sad sometimes. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean, because I see that from time to time. I do see that from time to time where, you have people coming in and brother, I've got all these great ideas, and you're like, yeah, we can just tag you over here, and then you can just continue this conversation over here. And I, it's a combination of saying to people, great, one more person on this massive project over here, terrific, good for you. It's a balancing act of saying, great, go and work on this project with these people who are terrific people and who've been working on it for a while at the same time encouraging, the passion to develop.
Yeah.
And that can be a trigger. That can be I was going to say that can be tricky because if you come into any organization and you have an existing preconception of what things should be or how they should be, you run the risk of being disappointed if you find that they are not like that. And so I think when we, just to return to the idea of, the main topic of tonight, which is, empowerment of women and people.
Yeah.
I think we should really highlight how much it starts within ourselves. How much it really, really starts with our ability to be able to say, am I ready to change? Am I able to change my opinion on things? And what makes it difficult for me to change my mind?
Right.
And that can, those reasons can be, they can be many, many different things. But if you identify with yourself, being a certain type of person, being very skilled in a certain skill, I have an incredible set of skills, and then you find people who are I gotta work on my Irish accent, but then you find people who are even better than you, and you might do you find that you're then challenged on your identity, or do you see it as a something great? Oh, terrific! I can spar with these people. I can be better. I can improve myself. And when it comes to empowerment in general, you and I can say to each other, Mike, you're doing so great. This is such a great event that you've organized. I can't wait to play Among Us. This is so great. I can't believe it. I wouldn't be able to do it. I'm learning something from you. And just being able to say that, it means so much to the person receiving it. It actually means a lot to the person saying it. And yet somehow we forget that quality in many, many situations.
So what you're trying to capture it here for our audience a bit, like what you're really what you're mentioning here is just empathy, right? Basically state like, you are doing a great job. Thank you so much for being here, rather than accept for what it is and move on because you want to be efficient, right? Also validate, empathize, and be more than just a machine.
Yes, and again, I think I would even say that empathy is internal. I'd say that appreciation is external. I think those two things come together.
Okay, well, that makes sense. That's gotcha. Also, it is 9 o'clock, which means that we will slowly get started with Among Us. Don't worry, people. We will continue talking. Just to reiterate what we're talking about, this is Kathrine Richter. She is the lead for Volt Denmark, and we are talking about empowerment, women in politics, women in business, and what can we do. So let's slowly get started. Oh no. Just moving some stuff real slow. And let's start this up. So tonight we will be playing Among Us. And I'm really looking forward to it. You've played a bit before, haven't you? Like earlier today?
Like earlier today, yeah. Robin sent me some links and said, just do this. And I did. And it was good. It was, I learned that if you accuse other people too early, then they will throw you out.
Oh no.
If you're not being proactive and empathetic, they will not like it.
Really? Who would have guessed? There we go. We are in the game. More importantly, we're not just in the game, we are actually going to play with a group of people. And these people are going to join in a bit. Draco, is everything working according to plan?
Everything is working according to plan, yeah.
What do I do?
So I am going to host a game in a bit, and I will send a code to people to log into. So let's first host a game. And I will send a code which will be shared by Draco later on.
We will share it on our Discord.
Yes.
For those who are not on the Discord server of Vault Europa yet, I will actually share it in our chat here right now.
Awesome. Alright, so while we do this, there is of course the important thing, the elephant in the room actually. We are trying within Volt, we are really trying to get equal representation as much as possible. Unfortunately, the numbers are not showing a great number right now. In fact, it's going bad. Our latest internal member report shows that we're swirling in about 20 to 25% of all members are women, which is just not great. It is, just for a point of reference, it is about the same as the average for all political parties, but for a progressive party as ours, where we actually promote this is of course, well, not what we want, to put it mildly. And we're trying to fix this, and hopefully, yeah, we can also work on that. But maybe you have some thoughts about this yourself as well, Kathrine.
Yeah, I mean, I you know, it's important to put. No, I don't want to use the word role models, but I think it is important to show and to invite people in. And for example, you know, a lot of our meetups, a lot of our open events, they are very much about you show up and you ask your questions and we will answer your questions, which is a good way. I find myself using that terminology as well.
Yeah.
But I think we need to be a lot more inviting in the way that we interact. So and choosing where we meet, for example. I mean, you know, before Corona, you know, a lot of these meetups would take place in like, you know, it wouldn't be a wine bar or, right, you know, a park with a playground.
Yeah. At
12. It would be, and in the evening, you'd have maybe there'd be rock music in the background. There'd be a bar, whatever. And you know, it's just I can just see that, you know, the people who showed up when I did meetups, you know, in a bar, were different people to the ones who showed up when I did meetups in a cafe and had coffee and cake. So you know, it's little things like that, and then understanding that people need to be invited three or four times, I'd say, because right now we're moving away from you know, there's like a group of people. It's like a curve. So you have like the first 5% of people. They're the ones who they love Vault.
Right.
They're Federalists. They're Europeans. 100%. They love it, and they're the first 5%. They will come because they've seen the magic words and they'll show up.
Right. Yeah.
We are moving into the second group, which is a bit more like, yeah, I want to be political. Yeah, I've thought about it a lot. I want to be political. Not quite sure yet how, but I want to be political. And that, you know, requires a little bit more work and invitation, and a lot more work in terms of retention. So make them stay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then finally, you know, we have the bulk of people, and the bulk of people who want to sign up to a business idea, a company, a political party. They're the ones who will join once the success is more established. The ones who might not want to join a startup. The ones who might not just don't have the time to invest late nights at 2 a.m. because the code doesn't work or something.
That's a thing.
And I think and what's happening now is that we're transitioning. Some of our teams around Europe, they're still trying to find the first 5%. You know, the hardcore people who are just, they're, you know, peas in a pot.
Yeah.
And then we have some teams that are now moving into the bulk group, the ones who are, you know, they've seen the success of the party and they're interested.
Right.
And it's important that when we meet those people who are interested, and when we meet them, that we meet them with a very, very strong agenda on equality, on gender parity, and inclusivity, and that we do that very much, you know, head on.
Right. Because
you got to manage expectations very, very early on, and managing expectations very much mean that you know, we are all carriers of the values of our political party and our movement, and everybody needs to be able to stand up and understand what equality means, what democracy means, what human rights mean, because those are hallmarks of Volt. And so when you then move into the group of people who are, you know, maybe not born federalists, maybe not, you know, but when you move into to more of the bulk group, that's when it becomes even more important that when you introduce Volt to people, that you're very strong on the values.
Yeah.
Because if you're interested in Volt, you will join and you will work with our values, because what we try to achieve is a fundamentally new thing, and that is very inspiring for so many people. But we cannot forget that the people who joined 2 years ago, who are, you know, pro-Europeans and federalists, and it's amazing, and science and sharing best practices and all the, you know, all the cool stuff that makes Volt, like, they didn't sign, you know, the people are signing up now didn't sign up 2 years ago. They're signing up now because now it's beginning to be an established party. Yeah. And when you think about what you are used to from established parties, then, you know, it's even more important to manage those expectations, to make sure that whatever preconceptions that you might have based on your initial understanding of what a political party is, that's when you can address the issues head on. But it becomes hard. It becomes harder when you, you know, when the preconceptions are not addressed early on. And for example, so for example, when you have an onboarding situation, when you meet someone new and you dial up someone and you call them up and you have a chat, it is important that the person who onboards you is not like spitting image of the new member, for example. Right. It is important that that you're introduced to a European with vault value. So I've been advocating for a long time to have that our onboarding is not necessarily based on our national chapters, but that we do have like a European onboarding team that onboards across Europe.
So
because
I want to sorry, there's we are I'm not sure actually, have you joined the game?
No, I don't. I'm only seeing the screen here, so I don't even have the message. Where did you send me something?
Oh no. Then I think this is awkward.
So the Team Finder channel.
In game, I just need to understand where I can get the message, where I can get the text.
We are the gaming category, and you see the text channel Team Finder.
I will
on Discord.
Also.
And there we send a code.
Go with no. Gaming. Okay, gaming 1, gaming 2, team 1. Where am I at?
Okay.
Yeah.
Those are the audio channels above that.
Which? Maybe you can move me.
No.
Am I gaming or gaming 2 or am I?
None of the audio channels. Just click on the text channel Team Finder, and there we have the code.
Text channel Team Finder. There are so many teams. Oh my god.
Otherwise, Kathrine, if you want, I can send it to you on WhatsApp.
Team Finder. No, fine. Okay.
Perfect.
All right, awesome. Also,
Finder.
there are a few chats here. We will restart the game in a bit later, just to make sure that we actually have the person of the night on board, which is a bit awkward, of course. But there are some messages stating that European onboarding is a really cool idea.
Yay!
Oh no, Sylvia, what happened? So the European onboarding is like a really cool idea, and I already see some people that would love to join the European onboarding team, despite their being new members. So there's that. That's already a great idea. I know for a fact that many people I see right now in Amsterdam would love to be more engaged with the European Vault Europe, but it's really difficult to bridge that gap from regional to European. Having said that, we should probably rehost Eindhoven as well. Yeah, perfect. Give them workplace access, lol. If only, that's definitely a thing. I would love to talk about that on a later time. Workplace is, it's difficult to host like a pan-European party. And, oh man. Anyway, let's rehost, because I would love to have Kathrine join. That'd be really awkward otherwise. So
yeah, I
will leave this game.
Can I ask, so... Okay, you may have to direct me a little bit more.
It's good. So I am going to, yeah, perfect. 10 players. I will rehost the code, resend the code, and
but
then
can I just
can join.
Sorry?
Yeah, of course.
Before you do that, so Robin told me to download this Steam thing, and I did, and I've got this Among Us. And I'm looking at the screen now saying local or online.
Yeah, all good.
Which should I choose?
Click online, please.
Yay. Okay. Oh, private. Enter code. Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Also, welcome, Luc Lammers. I love your name, and how nice of you to join this stream. This is also, I'm sorry for all the people that joined earlier, and I have been not reacting to the chat as much, but the talk is really interesting, and I want to give a platform. So when there's a window of opportunity, I will of course address everything in the chat. But that needs to be going a bit organically, and everyone is joining. Kathrine, are you in there right now?
I'm Copes girl. I've got a yellow green cheese on my head.
Yes. Oh, amazing. There you are. Like, I love my cheese. I'm Dutch. Well, I mean, you're Danish. You also love your cheese, of course. It's my favorite.
Yeah, I couldn't get a blue Danish cheese, unfortunately.
Even though Mike would say that's the country of cheese is France, but let's not get into that debate, and let's welcome the.
Ooh.
But let's not get into that.
Let's welcome the everyone on the channel to start the game.
Yes, I think everyone is here right now, right?
People over
Coming
now.
right now.
Awesome. So just to be sure, because I think we had some audio issues before, I think everyone is in, and that's really cool.
It's in.
So the rules here will be that only Kathrine and I will talk, but when there is a voting going on, then of course everyone can talk. Just to be sure.
Just as a comment, Yennefer is in Team 1 right now. Should I pull them back in?
Yes. Awesome. All right. I think everyone's in. And I have a. Let's get started first, and then I have a question from the chat. So let's see. I think we're full and we're done and we're ready to go. Awesome. So the question is, what's both of yours advice on getting involved on European Vaults level? Just ask. Ask your country or regional lead or your contact point to get you involved, and you'll get an introduction within the workplace. And usually if you say that there's something you'd like to join, people from within workplace will pick that up. That will be mine, but maybe Kathrine has some other ones as well.
Yeah, I do actually.
Awesome.
How do I start this meltdown thing? This hand. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, there you go. Okay. Well, I mean, I think I would start in my national chapter, because so many things happen on the European level, but I think what is underestimated is how much you actually do on local level as well, and how important it is for the European level to be in contact with the national teams. And so if you have an understanding, or if you gain an understanding of what's happening on local level, you'll be so much more equipped to engage on the European level afterwards. And so I think you know, getting involved in the European level is certainly there's a voting going on. Okay.
There's a
Getting
voting
involved in the
start.
European level is certainly interesting. But I think I would probably start with
A local.
oh, should we vote on this?
Yes.
Yeah, so who
Actually,
saw
we need to
something?
talk. What happened? Who saw something? What happened?
So, I saw the corpse of Blue, Zestray, just to the right of storage, so the room at the bottom of where you start out.
Okay. Did you
Right.
see anything? Someone walking away from the barricades?
Not really. And if I did, I couldn't remember the colors.
Oh no.
Wait, where was it in storage?
Storage is the room below
I think
this place where you start out. Not if you
Oh,
go
no.
right after going below, then, but
I mean,
just
where
down.
in storage? Because I was there with Rob.
Yeah, if you start
mean-
out, just go
no.
down.
Oh, we have a disconnect.
Alright, so I know that green and brown helped stopping the meltdown, so I think that kind of counts them out, but I did not see anyone going away from the barricades when that happened.
that's right. I saw Draco as well with the high flyer and Sylvia working on the reactor thing when that happened. So who wasn't at the reactor?
I went there,
This
but
is
then it was
fascinating.
done.
I think I know who I'm gonna vote for,
Are you going
because
to
I
vote?
have a suspicion.
Exciting. I also have. I
Do we
also
have
a
anonymous
hunch.
votes on?
Always vote.
Do we
on-
have anonymous votes on?
Yes, we do.
Feel free to skip the vote.
Kathrine
Feel
is
free
Cope's
to
girl?
kick someone out.
I'm Cope's girl. Yeah, it's my Instagram
I'm gonna vote for you.
handle.
Congrats. Congrats, Kathrine.
Ooh, no one was ejected. But, oh, it's a tie even, so someone would have been ejected otherwise. This is scary.
Yeah.
Alright,
Okay.
moving on with the talk. We have a question from the chat on the topic of women in politics. It was recently in the news that Mark Rutte, the Dutch Prime Minister, systematically cuts off and interrupts female ministers more often than his male ones. What could we do to circumvent this from happening in the future? I have my answer available.
Talking sticks.
Talking sticks, nice. Oh, that's a good one.
I mean, and then, you know, for women to just say, "I'm sorry, I was talking."
Right.
I really cannot underline this enough. Just because some guy is eager to speak doesn't mean they get to speak. It's like, I'm sorry, hold your tongue and use your pen and write it down. I'm not impressed. That would be, but you know, in the absence of that, I'd say talking sticks.
Talking sticks. I would go for not vote for VVD and Mark Rutte this election. You know, vote Volt instead. Just spitballing here, but you know, it's. I'd like to go.
Well, that's the other option.
But
it's list number 17, if I remember correctly.
It's regardless. It's Also, I'm not doing something right. There's a crisis going on.
They keep doing the dead body. Ah, nice. Okay.
Break your keyboard, my man.
So I saw Brown at the top right. Yeah, the room at the upper top right, and I saw Sylvia coming in at the room at the far right of the map.
Oh no.
So I'm suspecting light green, though I'm not sure because I don't know whether light green came from above or below.
I'm saying that Sylvia is sus because you stole my flower style.
Hmm.
Kind of thought it was Sylvia.
Sorry, the flower fits with my green color amazingly, so.
Yeah, if a green is suspicious here, it's probably dark green.
No, I saw dark green. I followed them from the bottom of the map because I'm done with my tasks.
So Sylvia.
So also.
I think I'm dark green.
So I'm saying Kathrine is pretty safe with this girl at least.
So Sylvia, what's your defense?
I was actually trying to understand in which room I should go next for the next task.
If you press tab, you can see a map.
Yeah, no, I do know that. I was trying to understand in which room I was, and then I saw there's actually a miniature of myself, so that made it easier after a while.
I am skipping this vote. I have not enough information.
Yeah, I voted for light green, but
Ooh, I'm being targeted. Ooh.
Me.
Oh, well then, interesting.
I mean,
interesting.
It's the topic of the evening, maybe. So maybe we can delve into that.
Unlike politics, we only voted for women.
Yeah, vote women. That's not what we mean.
It's a real thing in Dutch politics, actually. To a lot of people in the Netherlands specifically vote for women, regardless of their position on the electorate ballot, and that's actually a thing that started in the 80s. Always vote for women. Actually, my whole family does exactly this. Oh no, my brain. I need to do something which requires my attention, and I can't do two things at the same time. One.
That's all right.
Two.
That's all right. I think it's really interesting with the vote women thing because oh, okay.
We need to
Dead
discuss.
body reported.
So
So
suspiciously,
it's in
Dark
the
Green is still
cafeteria.
alive.
I am
So it's
beginning to suspect.
Eddie Cora's body in the cafeteria.
I am beginning to suspect that yeah. This is very interesting.
So
Because
what are
Jen
you?
was running
Jen
around.
has been so. Jen is being so silent.
Yes, it's uncharacteristic.
She has.
Well,
Yeah, that is really not characteristic of Jennifer.
I just figured out that I was muted, so it was not a game.
She's jumping around vents, is she? No, I'm curious about Rob. What's your what did you do while you were running around?
Ooh, accusations to Rob. Rob, what's your defense here?
I'm just curious. I didn't see you much. Or are you muted, Rob? Cat
Sorry,
got
no,
your tongue.
yeah.
That is suspect.
No, so I was just fixing some wiring and coming back up, I saw Elite's body in the cafeteria.
So, but
in
you
the
need-
cafeteria, so
You needed to
so
be
they were
muted.
killed in the cafeteria.
So you needed to be muted to come up with that story.
Kill was in cafeteria, I was down in the storage. And I think Draco was next to me.
La la. Well, we shall find out.
Okay, 15 seconds remaining for the.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh no, Rob.
Ooh.
Why? How
It's-
come?
It's the end for you.
Seriously, why?
Bye. Bye.
I'm not sure if that was the right decision.
It might not have been, but tribalism runs rampant here. It's exactly what we don't want to have with Volt. Follow our gut instincts and not being. Yes, it's a problem.
I can't at the moment. It
Anyway,
says always
let's.
the game has always already started.
Oh, Sylvia, could you mute?
I think it's Anna.
Ah. Oh, I completed a task which I needed to. Amazing. It requires so much brain power. I felt a bit silly just now. So let's start with another question. Oh, amazing.
Wow.
Hello there. It's been me all along.
I knew it.
I should have never trusted
And he
you.
was killing the people that I was being accused of killing.
Oh, that was a great round.
Well done. Well done.
Yes.
So I feel like I did the majority of the murder works. Sylvia.
Sylvia, you're a murder machine.
Yeah, I was. See, I was attracting the suspicions while he was actually killing everybody.
Yeah,
Interesting.
indeed.
Okay.
Oh, that's hilarious. So should I play again? Is
Yes,
that how it works?
please. Yeah.
Or do I press quit? Play again.
Yes, and we're with 9, so where's number 10? And there is number 10. Hello, Jet.
Sorry, I got distracted.
By the pretty flowers, I like them. It's either cheese or flowers for me on your head in this game. Like, hats or doctor outfits don't cut it for me. I just want the cheese. Where's the cheese? Alright, let's get started then.
I really think the best is the flower. It's really cute.
Oh my god, I need to go and fix myself.
Ooh. And we're getting started. So, off to next question. From the chat. The tactical women vote is to vote for the woman that is just behind the cutting off line according to the polls. So because the ones inside the cutting off limit are actually already in parliament. So the one in the vote list in the Netherlands would be number 4, Marieke Koekoek. So the strategic choice to make sure that the last one.
Oh, Rob, that's so bad. I saw you killing that guy.
Oh, you shouldn't say that. You shouldn't say that. That's not allowed. You should click on the thing. You should click on the thing, like report a murder, and then just say that.
Oh, that's true. Hang on. Why am I doing this? Hang on. Why am I doing that?
Or if you're not at the cops, you can press the button in the middle of the map.
Yeah.
Where's the thing? Where's the thing?
I'll press the button. Ah, dead body reported.
Yeah.
So, what happened?
I found the dead body. So we totally did not hear what Kathrine said.
But now you can
But
say
what
it.
did you...
I was so surprised.
What? I didn't get that.
But now you can say it.
I just want to say,
Well, yes,
Dark
but
Green had a perfect
I
opportunity to
think
kill
I
me, but
should
didn't.
be. I'm really bad because I should be. I broke the law. I broke the rules. It's not. I shouldn't. I should be. I need to not.
No, but now you can.
I'm
say
gonna
it.
skip the vote.
You were just a bit early with saying it. You can say it when there's a vote thing going on.
Well, I guess the whole point is the same thing, but I didn't get where you saw that.
It was in the,
what?
right when you killed, right when you chopped the. Yeah.
Oh, good luck playing the game and less people with twin imposters still.
I'm so sorry. Oh. Now, what happened? Now I'm going, okay. Oh yeah, oh I got limited in my vision, huh? Okay, that's pretty. Oh yeah, okay. So tactical vote to vote women in.
Yeah.
You should vote number 4 on the list.
For vote
or something.
list. Yeah, because the thing is,
yeah.
You should vote for the cutoff, the women next to, just behind the cutting off line. And for vote, that will be 3 seats are the thing going on right now. Oh no. We need to make sure that we are actually not going to die. I always like not dying.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, Kathrine, but... Oh, yes!
No, definitely.
There we go. I saw this. So, no
Oh my god.
no need to tell what's happened, Jen. Who did you murder, Jen? Was it Orange?
So horrible at this game.
So Jennifer
very
chopped
cool.
someone in half. It was horrible.
Yeah.
So who did you?
Like,
Yeah.
that was the
I
murder
died.
I was expecting.
Is that true, Jennifer?
Yes.
Would you do that? Is that something?
Why would you
What
do
about
that?
the hidden aggressions
Oh my
here?
Well, to be fair, I didn't choose the method. Like, I just pushed a button. So.
Oh yeah, that makes everything right. You know that's how the prison.
Yeah.
You know what? That's how the prisoner's dilemma or the prisoner's experiment worked as well, right? So Jen, you need to vote or skip the vote if that's all right with you. So we can
I skipped it.
so we can tribally murder you, which is totally
All right,
fine
so-
on the spaceship.
I want to say that this is quite a statement for anyone who wants to vote votes to know that the communications leads are extremely bad at lying.
They're very bad at killing people.
Oh my god, yes.
Well, we should be happy about that. Like, our comms leads are definitely not serial killer material. I'm happy with that. I don't know about you. All right. Yes. I think we're almost there, and we're ready for another game. But before we start the game,
Very, very good.
let's dedicate this game with the following question. So, you wanted to bring this up, Kathrine, because it is very important, and I agree. So, it is about gender representation in policy development. And can you maybe tell us real short what's that about? What's the jig behind that? Why is that really important? Because I concur, but like that's the thing, of course.
So I think first of all, it's the perspective, right? So you want a diverse perspective in your delivery of policy ideas, because when you communicate an idea, a policy, then you're not just communicating to your own, like the people who understand the idea as well as you do.
Yeah.
You are communicating to all the people who do not have a clue, do not understand, or who have no interest even in a topic that you find so incredibly important.
Yeah.
You know, so just simply being able to oh, now I have to do some security stuff. What am I doing? I don't know. Am I doing something? I don't know. Okay. Ooh. Oh. You gotta help me with this because I saw nothing.
2 already
Two
died.
people dead.
Oh my.
Oh wow.
So actually, I didn't report the mortar, but I just saw one also. So I don't know if it's the same.
So
Where did that happen?
can some? Yeah. What's
Did you see Silvio?
Yeah, where's the
Ooh.
body?
I saw one body in the. I think it's the weapons, like on the top right,
Okay.
and I think it's Eddie Koga's body.
Yeah. Anyway,
Oh,
I can
Sylvia
vouch for
reported.
Yen.
Oh, thank you.
Ah.
Okay.
Sylvia,
vouch for
which
me.
one did you find?
But can you though? Were you always with them? Okay.
okay?
I'm gonna skip. I don't know who it is.
I don't know anything either. I didn't see anything. It was. Where was it?
The armament, you say?
Yeah. One was in weapons, the other who knows.
I reported the other one, but I don't know the name of the room.
I
Okay.
still don't entirely understand where which body was, but sure.
Right. So back to the policy.
Must be a tie. Yeah. Very good.
Yes.
Yes. So for example, when you know, the more people who are helping with developing the ideas, and with the diverse mindset. So you know, diversity of thought is super important, because by diversity of thought, you also have diversity of input. And even if it just means challenging a statement that's been made, or saying I'm not sure that's clear, or why should I care about this thing, it's really important that policy doesn't become like some sort of internal hobby,
right?
That people like to do, where they say, you know, and they sit with themselves and their friends in a small group, and they look around saying, yeah, we're all the same and we all agree on this amazing thing. This is so cool to be in agreement with everybody else. And you know, that's safe, but it's also not progressive.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. So you know, it's about challenging our preconceptions when it comes to policy development is as important as challenging our preconceptions about anything. So when we look around a policy group and we say, who is represented here? Whose voices are being heard in this group? And if you look around the room and you see a lot of yous, that's probably, that should trigger something inside you. And it should also trigger, you know, the policy facilitators to simply say, look, I'm sorry, but your group is not diverse enough.
Yeah.
So when we did last year, we did taxation. We
need to vote before the time ends. I'm sorry. Really
Where's
bad.
the body?
Yeah, the body. What's the name of the room? I saw purple die. I see that Sylvia saw me in the room where purple was. That's correct.
Was it in electrical? That's the last place I saw Draco.
I'm sure that's the name. Like, it's in the bottom left.
Yeah, with all the electrical panels and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, electrical.
Like literally on top of a vent.
Yeah, I also saw like MagicMike and Anna Banana walking there too after I left.
Yes.
In the oxygen room.
Who was on top of a vent?
Like, on top of it then, so that's the thing, of course.
So maybe somebody vented.
Ooh.
Ooh. Ooh. Was it a tie?
It was a tie.
Okay.
2 votes for me because Sylvia did,
Interesting.
but Sylvia got punished by that with another vote as well.
Do you know where the admin area is? I want to go down and do the admin.
If you press the tab button.
No, communications. Where the fuck? Oh yeah. Oh, okay, I see it. Haha, funny. Okay, interesting. Okay, I see it.
Yeah.
Yes. So diversity of thought is super important and should be encouraged. Not only encouraged, but ensured. In fact. And that's hard. It is hard because you want to sit and develop policy with your friends and the people who agree with you, because that's how you that's the most efficient thing, isn't it? That's the most efficient thing, because then everybody agrees and then everybody can just write this thing that everybody agrees on.
Yeah.
But that's the challenge about policy and policy development and ideas exchange, is to say, okay, we all agree. Surely we don't represent everyone.
Right.
And so so how do we make this happen?
Yeah.
How do we do this? And okay, great.
Good. No one
Did
died.
somebody die?
Nobody
Who died?
Oh, we're all here. That's nice too.
Okay, I'm gonna hang out with Rob for a second. See what he does. Communications. Oh. I used to play. I'm using my the arrow buttons here because I used to play this game. Oh, it's a dead body. Oh, how do I see that? Oh, nice. Oh,
No, it's
okay.
I reported it. I was right next to you. I reported it. So I think that was Chen's body.
It took you guys some time to find it.
Well, that's interesting because somebody reported a mishap at the other end. So who was the last one joining the reactor? Because I think the person who came to the reactor last was the one who killed the person in the communications room.
I was one of the first ones because I was one of the 2 hands.
But why is
That's
that?
true.
There was already MagicMike on the top one and 2 people on the lower. It was Rob and
me.
The dark green.
Yeah, me. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, dark green with the
Sylvia
red
was
hat.
missing.
Oh, was she now? Well then, Scylla, what's your defense? It's can't be mute.
Yeah.
Oh, Sylvia.
Sorry, Sylvia.
Oh no.
So there is a high, like no one wants the DNA.
I mean, you are.
It was for stealing my hat.
You are flying with a hoodie, so that's really cool. But I mean, the
Well done.
The cheese always wins.
I knew it. I saw you.
I actually voted against Mike. Literally for no reason. It was just out of like a hand.
Spite because of my cheese remark. It was
time.
Mike, we're a good team.
Yes, we are. It was amazing. It felt really good. Oh, I shouldn't say that. It was a really good game. Yes.
Really efficient work.
Yes.
Well murdered.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sad, Sylvia saw Mike in the very first murder, basically, already.
Yes, I was very scared. Murderer being scared.
I'm surprised.
Oh, really?
I'm surprised nobody believed Sylvia.
Yes.
Yeah.
She didn't say anything. That's why, because you were muted. Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, it was also in the chat.
I feel.
Who voted
I
for me
feel.
that one
Oh,
time
in the chat.
I
need to know.
Yeah, I feel so bad for making use of your good demeanor to further myself in this game. It's not how I want to behave myself politically, but in this game it feels really good.
Oh my god.
So,
okay, let's do this.
Yes. Let's slowly continue with the policy as well. Because let me reiterate what we talked about slowly, right?
Sure.
We have a we need to be sure that there is equal representation with the making of policy, and it's a difficult thing due to the fact that you really just want to make policy, right? It needs to be a thing, but it's also really important to have good representation of different kinds of people there, because context matters. Is that something, right? Yeah, does that make sense?
Oh shit, yeah, absolutely. I found a body!
Okay, where did that happen?
Up in the next to the cafeteria on the right. What is it? On the right of the cafeteria? What is that? Communication? No. Hang on.
Yeah.
Weapons. No.
Weapons.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
No?
No.
Rob, we both came from there, no?
Yeah.
Somebody went
That
the
place.
other way.
Anyway.
I don't
It's
know.
the first on the right.
It was a horrible
Yeah,
death, by the way. It really hurt.
I came with Anna Banana from communications.
Yeah, I was doing Simon Says
Okay.
with Ellie Koga in some room.
Okay,
Yeah,
I saw three
saw
running
that
around. What
That
about
Simon Says
what
thing is
about
right, by the way?
where's High Flyer?
Yeah, I'm high flyer. I did the 2 tasks at O2. After that, I did the trash at storage. After that, I went to electrical, where I saw Draco, and after that, I won't go to the left upside to the second task, or yes, to my last task, maybe.
That's pretty good. Okay,
And welcome Stasius Zolotusti. Oh, that was really difficult to pronounce, but thank you for joining this stream. Good to see you here. And we are Volt Europe, and we are playing Among Us while talking about empowerment, women in politics, with Kathrine Richter, the lead of Volt Denmark. Hello there. Where are you from? Alright, I think Ellie Koga, you need to vote. Pretty please.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was concentrating on something else.
Alright. And there we are. No one was ejected. We are safe for
nice
now.
one. Nice one.
Ah,
Okay,
so
let's
you
do
are
this.
Dutch, but your username is written in Polish. That's really cool. That's the Volt Europe spirit, you know? Being
Yeah.
pan-European. I love it. Alright, so we were talking about it's really difficult with the focus sometimes, I'm sorry. We were talking about
It is, no, it is.
policy and representation with policy, because context matters, and you can't just have an homogeneous group doing policy, right? It's you need a bit of diversity there, otherwise you'll get more of the same anyway.
Absolutely.
So
that's right, and it's challenging. You know, it's challenging for the best of us to maintain our curiosity. It is.
Yes.
You know.
No, definitely.
What are you guys doing? Okay. It's super hard, and so. Shit. Oh, here we go.
We are doing well.
Where's the thing?
Hello, and also hello, Sturmwaffel. Welcome to the stream. Yes.
See. Got it. Okay, great.
All right, we'll make do. So, yes. What do we need? There's a lot to do here with representation. It's very difficult. It's difficult to focus on the both, isn't it?
Shit. Okay.
Where's the body?
Yeah,
It's really hard.
because of
Look, Draco
too
died.
many people
Oh
being
shit.
voted at once.
Draco, you're dead. Where's the body?
Draco died at the entrance to the
Yeah.
navigation.
I'm dead.
Oh.
Okay. I was with Elikoga all round. Right now we were like with Anna Banana too.
I was running around.
I can
with,
confirm that.
Yeah, I finished all my tasks, so I was hanging out with Koga and Zestre, and then I just ran after Kathrine.
So where have you been, Rob?
So I finished all my tasks, and right now I'm in the engine, and I'm kind of running around
Interesting. Interesting.
without
So
any
the-
purpose, really.
So the only one who was actually near that body was you, High Flyer. I know
Yeah.
who you are.
Now there were many people. I finished my task, and now I running around and look for something suspicious and for dead people.
There's only
And-
one task left. Let's just finish tasks.
And yeah, where
Yeah, we can just skip vote, and the person who has the task should finish the task.
You're running around looking
Maybe
for
it's
dead
a
people.
ghost.
Okay.
Which Twister? Which interview are you talking about this time? Ah, Volt NL leader Laurens Dasse on Dutch TV right now. Yes.
He's on Dutch TV at the moment.
It's
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
going really well. It's going really well in the Dutch
Oh, I'm so
elections.
glad.
Yes, on Nieuwsuur.
He's on Dutch TV. Do you
Yeah.
mean on European TV?
I mean, he's always on
No,
European
Dutch
TV,
TV.
but he is also on Dutch national TV right now. Yes.
Nice, that's good.
He's always on a Volt's mind, you know. It's a thing.
Always.
Elikoga, can you? Oh no, too late.
Or are they two against me?
Ye- Well,
Seriously, why? Well, at least I finished all my tasks, so.
well, you. Oh shit. So. You, okay.
Someone
Shit.
we
Does
need-
that mean you voted for me, Kathrine?
finish your tasks. Oh no. Yes, we won. Woo.
Who are the killers then?
Yeah, who are the
It was me again.
Yeah.
with Mike again?
No.
No, then we would have won.
It was
Obviously.
me.
Obviously.
No, it was the two of us.
We needed one more kill. Nearly.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
also the
I
predictions.
wanted to.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's fun.
I do like this game a lot, even though it's really difficult to talk about topics sometimes.
So, Kathrine, you're the
Yeah, you
killer,
gotta-
and you play again, and you vote against me.
Oh, it was really nasty. She killed me, went away for a bit, and then came back and reported. Like it was really, it was really smart. She really turned it, like made a little stroll, and then said, "Oh no, a murder." It was really cool.
Yeah, my acting chops.
It was impressive.
Professional politicians. Right?
Yeah, professional.
Very sweet, very sweet.
Professional politician right there.
Actually, that's something that I always thought was. I thought like today was really funny because Kathrine, you're very very active on in Vault. We're doing so many things. We're doing a lot of events, talking about a lot of things, and I really wanted to do a like an event with you and have a debate. I didn't think you would be like killing each other, really, but but I'm very glad you're here with us tonight.
Yeah. Also, going to plug you right now because you are going to run elections, aren't you?
No, it was. Yes, exactly. In November this year, we are in Val Denmark. We're running for the first time in Denmark, and in my municipality where I live, I live in a part of Copenhagen which is called Frederiksberg.
Yeah.
And it's this beautiful suburb where, yeah, it's just really nice. They have a very green, strong agenda, and there's a sense of there's a great French community here as well, and there's this massive potential in Frederiksberg, and so at the moment there is this narrative in Frederiksberg about, you know, let's be sure that we don't get eaten by Copenhagen, like the bigger municipality next to us. But I think that the narrative can just be so much different. It can just be, you know, imagine all the things that Frederiksberg can do when you include all of Europe. And so already now we're chatting with some people who were voted in the German North Rhine-Westphalia. There were some council members voting in there. And
Sylvia, how did you not see that?
And so yeah. Oh shit! I forgot to join the game.
Really? Oh no, we did
I
it
forgot
again.
to join the game.
Oh, Louis from the server team is in here.
Ah.
But that's okay. I can speak more freely then.
That's also good.
Yeah. So anyway,
okay.
One of the bodies is in weapons. I was there with Sylvia. Sylvia somehow didn't see it.
Yeah, no, I was doing the cable thingy, the cable task.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm thinking like we started not too long ago, and there's already 2 dead, so it must be someone who actually knows how to play.
No, but then I'll keep talking a little bit about the elections because
so that rules out the comms team basically.
Of course.
Oh really? You're already dead. Oh.
So we have no
Hilarious.
clue basically who that was.
Well, I can only say murdering the cheese is bad, okay?
It's okay, it's Dutch cheese.
Where's everyone else then?
So I'm in electrical and I did this thing where it turns around and you have to hit it, and I failed about 50 million times.
Yeah, what's the room when you go out of O2 and go down? Like bottom right.
Shields, no?
Could be. Yeah, there.
Or comms. Anyway.
You have 10 seconds to vote left.
Elections would be way more exciting if there were like huge loudspeakers saying how much time you have left to vote.
Yes. Well, that's on Wednesday. The big loudspeaker is 9 p.m.
Time's up. That's
But on
true.
the topic of
Yeah.
elections, Kathrine, you were telling us
Yes.
about your election.
Oh yeah, no, it's simply because there's just this massive potential in Frederiksberg, and it's a great municipality with so many great people, and I just can't wait to run because I can see that the campaign has already started. There's a lot of people who want to make an impact in the municipality, and last time 30% of the electorate didn't actually vote. So it would be really great
Really?
to
There's a lot of untapped
get,
potential.
yeah. A lot of first-time voters, I think, wouldn't necessarily vote, and I'm really excited about getting out the vote. And we're going to run a whole separate campaign on just getting out the vote and having Europeans vote as well, and making sure that they're probably registered to be able to vote in Frederiksberg and knowing how to vote. You can also postal vote, for example, and just that whole prospect of being innovative with our campaigns. I love to see what they're doing in Germany, and biking around with posters and flags. And we've already asked if we can borrow some of the posters from the Hamburg campaign. So that they ran their local election last year in February, and we're going to get some of their old posters and recycle them.
There's a murder
Where's the body? Where's the body?
Murder going on.
There's a murder report. It's very heavy. It's politics and murder tonight in the Volt game stream. It's your local. How's that called again?
Eliko got killed and reported right away. So he was stopping the idea of taking a stroll and going back and reporting. He just did not take the stroll.
You always need to take a stroll.
What?
Did you see?
Oh no, I saw Sylvia on top of the body, so maybe that's it.
Interesting.
But then why didn't?
Where's the body then? I know I was walking with Sylvia briefly.
So
in the bottom left.
And you were with
Bottom
Rob, no?
left.
And he's dead.
Who are we voting then? Are we voting Elikoga?
Well, I'm not.
Yeah, of course.
I mean,
which body did you find, Elikoga?
What color?
Which color? Sorry.
I forgot it.
Oh no, because I know that Zestray, so Christian, was with Rob, and now Rob is dead.
That's a fair point. I saw that too.
Yeah, and he was chasing me around in a suspicious way for a while. So
I
So
saw
let's now vote
Draco
out
and Jen, I
and
think,
then-
in electrical before.
Yeah, I
So,
was in electrics doing my
let's
tasks.
vote out
Yeah,
Christian.
with
Nothing
Draco and
works.
me.
Blue assist.
Because I'm pretty sure he must have killed him. I just left them together.
I'm dead. By the way, I'm my player. I'm dead.
Oh, it's a tiebreaker. Elikoga and Sylvia, you're both horrific. You're equally horrific, so no one has to die today. Not yet. Back to the topic, people. Yes. There you are, Kathrine. Yes. Can you continue talking about how you are going to change politics in Denmark? Oh, without.
So first of all,
sorry, there's just an emergency meeting. This is really annoying, actually.
I'm sorry for interrupting you, but I think we really have to vote out Christian because he must have killed Rob. It's impossible that he didn't because he was dead.
So,
We saw them, 2
Christian-
seconds before together. So Zestray.
I'm dead.
Oh, Zestray, you mean?
Yeah. Oh, it's not you.
And I'm trusting you with this.
I mean-
I trust your word.
Okay, Rob. I mean, sure.
Oh come on! I just started doing fucking.
Oh, it's Isaac.
Simon
Sorry,
says.
Christian. I was.
Also, need to remind everyone that we're running a PG-13 stream, so mind the cussing, please. Ooh, wow, that was very clear.
Yay.
Zestray is out.
Okay, so I'm guessing Sylvia saved them?
Or is she? I mean, she is the data analytics co-lead, so she really knows her way of data and manipulation, right? That's her shtick.
Well, while you talk, I'll.
Well, you'll just have to trust me.
That's what the whole of Volt does. No pressure.
Not at all.
No. All right. Anyhow, changing politics, but we are I'm pretty sure that the moment we are going to talk, then something will happen, of course. So how about we take a little break in a bit to actually just focus on talking for a bit?
No.
I think that's actually better.
We can do that. I should have also been better at actually accessing the game. That I forgot that.
Oh, that's all right.
Minor detail.
No. It's also this game is interruptive, and that's all right. But sometimes it's not the most convenient, even though the game is really exciting, and I hope the viewers agree. But maybe you can talk about what's your view on innovation within Volt. innovating cooperation platforms for more effective teamwork? Because of course that's a big thing within Volt.
Yeah. I think one of the key strengths that we must never forget is the is being able to do and to act. I think we're always on the cusp of this balance between, are we professionalizing or are we still a startup? And what we need to remember is that part of Volt is still very much a startup, and part of Volt is trying to professionalize and make sure that we don't let those expectations flow over or spill over into teams that are not ready for either. And
right.
That's it again comes back to managing expectations and understanding where the other part is, and being open to those differences. So I think when it comes to innovation, it's there's an opportunity for the teams that are experienced. There's an opportunity to assume a training capacity. There's a management capacity. There's an opportunity to provide education and training and use this platform that is Volt to train yourself, and then use all that capacity to actually take that out into the real world afterwards and say, okay, I actually trained 60 people in onboarding on a European level, and that meant distance management. It included, listening, active listening, all these different things that are involved in a conversation. And so I think when it comes to innovation, it's about translating the day-to-day stuff that we do, and then realizing what a terrific platform and what a terrific playground we actually have, because of the, you mentioned trust before, but because we have this opportunity to train ourselves in what I would say is a quite safe environment, in terms of, if you will get a second and a third chance, and your quarter will still be fine.
Yeah.
But I think that's important when we think about innovation, is to take the chance and to enable people to have the chance to do something that they haven't done before. And again, I'm going to return to my initial statement, about turning up and being invited. And one of the things that happened to me was in July 2019. After Damien Böselager had been elected into the European Parliament, we sat in a hotel in Brussels, and we had a session, a brainstorming session with all the country leads and some of the European leads.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really great. That was back when you could travel. But basically,
the yesterdays.
The yesterdays, yeah. But basically, from 2018 to 2019 had been one large sprint phase. And so all of a sudden we came out of we came out of the European elections. We had been victorious, and we were like, now what?
Also, you can
and so we
join
sat
again.
there. Oh, can I join again? Okay. It's a code. It's a code.
It's the same code.
The game.
It's full again. Oh no.
No, the game I tried to join is full. Oh, here you go. Great. Okay,
No,
I'm in.
But please continue.
By the way, Sylvia, how frustrated were you after?
That silent kill.
After we got like 3 versus 3 votes, that was terrible. And then they ejected me. That was so sad.
But Sylvia,
But
someone was following you, right?
No.
When I killed the person right in front of you.
Sorry, what?
Someone was following you, right?
Yeah, someone was with me, but I don't remember who. But yeah, I was like, I saw him killing them. But
People,
okay.
I'm going to cut your audio short because we are in the stream talking with Kathrine, and it's really okay, but I should get the rules a bit tight here, if you don't mind. Sorry for that. We are starting the game, but Kathrine, you were talking about your setting yourself up, having a brainstorm session.
That's
Oh, there's a
yeah, no.
huge-
So we were sitting there, and we decided, all of us, that we needed to have a European strategic vision, and for that purpose, we needed to create a process for developing a vision for Vault Europa.
Yeah.
And that was just, we knew right then and there was going to be a guy, there was going to be a girl, and I got asked if I could join this task force because they needed a woman.
Yeah.
And it was just really interesting because it was one of those situations where, you know, I had never done anything like that before in my life. And so it was just, it was an incredible opportunity for me to learn.
Right.
And I took the opportunity. And basically, oh my God, emergency meeting.
All right,
Okay.
Kathrine. I heard the killing sound
Hello?
through your mic.
What?
Your game sound is on. It's
What do
picked
you
up by
mean?
your mic. That
Oh no.
Oh
when you
my.
stab someone, I heard it loud and clear.
But how could you? But I didn't. What do you mean?
Oh.
What? How do you? What do you mean? What sound? I didn't make a sound.
I did not hear this actually.
Neither did I.
I'm not going
But
to.
I-
I'm not going to
Same.
vote
I
on
didn't
that
hear
one.
it.
No. I'm going to skip this one.
It's so
I'm a little bit offended.
Okay,
Is that what you're going
well,
to say?
interesting. Okay, interesting. Robin, what are you? We're waiting for you.
Sorry, I was
What?
focusing
I'm
on
really
something
curious
else.
about the sound. What sound? Oh my God, too? Oh, okay. All right, interesting. Okay, interesting. All right. Well,
Yes.
I better stay close to where's Sastrai to make sure that that they know that I'm one of the team good. Go. Yeah, no. So I got the opportunity to actually join this team and learn from the a bottom-up process, and I'm using that knowledge now to help make I was going to say to help make assemblies, citizen assemblies, and you know it's such a it's just such a thing where you can use your experience and you can Jesus Christ, and you can use your experience and you can try to make it try to apply it externally afterward. Okay, so what do I do here? Jesus. How does this work? What am I? Okay, sorry, I'm just in this thing. Can you? Okay.
Saved.
Okay, great. Yeah. So I think there are so many ways in which the innovation that is demanded by Vault, because of the way that we're organized, because of the whole orchestration of the organization, it demands innovation.
Yeah,
but
you
we
can't
should then
do
be
without.
able to much more courageous. Exactly. Yeah, but then you have to be much more courageous in the way that you you have to be much more courageous in the way that you translate it afterwards.
Yeah.
And maybe that's something that we can improve. The way that we I'm just running. Shit. Okay, I'm just running away here. Is this up here? No. Okay. So basically, I just think that there is this untapped potential in the way that we interact, because we should be able to.
Did you really just kill in front of me?
Yeah, I did. I was like, I couldn't get you off my tail. You kept chasing me, so fuck it.
I thought I was
Sorry,
safe,
PG-13.
but no. Brutal, so brutal.
Oh, you did
I was
well.
on to you from the first kill.
All right, people.
It's a little bit addictive, actually.
Yeah, it's a really nice game. Although I do think that this is probably going to be the last time we're playing it because it's really difficult to combine it with actually talking. So we need to find a different balance, but that's okay.
Well, actually, in the comments, if anyone has any suggestions for any game we can play, we're always it's always welcomed.
Yeah. I mean, I have my preference.
Absolutely.
Age of Empires all the way.
Oh my god. You know, I remember we were playing when I was a kid. We would play. I had this old like Olivetti computer, and it would be there would be all this. I think it was like 10 floppy disks that you'd have to insert to play, and then there was this adventure game where you were this princess walking around different screens, and then you have to, I'm going into this screen now. I have to put in a new floppy disk.
That's amazing. That's so cool. I had that too. My favorite game on it was an Amiga game, and it was called Super Frog.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you were literally a frog running around in a forest, and you had to squash bees and save the princess, and it was amazing. Very gender problematic, but it was still really fun as a game. That's also actually tying into that. A fun fact, did you know that Nintendo, who is famous for the saving the princess trope, right? Actually is moving away from that trope a bit with their latest Super Mario game, where in the end, rather than saving the princess doesn't need to choose at least, and just says, no, I don't want a relationship with you, Mario. Just walks away, which is a huge step for Nintendo, I guess, given that they have been working that narrative for 30 years now. But, you know, it's a thing.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. I think there is something to be said about being supportive, and I think that's, you know, I think returning back to some of the original questions that we talked about, how to empower people. There is Alex, who is he's co-president here in Vault Denmark, and he is absolute rock, and he is so great, and he is such a supportive guy, and he just I don't think I could be doing all the things that I'm doing if he wasn't there.
Right.
To back me up, to support me, to just randomly say, hey, what about this? I'm like, oh yeah, true, you're right, I should have said that. And I think it's just such an important quality to remember that we need our support. You know, we need, as much as we need support, we also need to be supportive. And yeah, and there's a, you know, it's not necessarily about you know, inviting in, or it's also about inviting and suggesting new ideas, but it's certainly also about just being supportive and being you know, not blindly supporting, right? I think, you know, whenever yeah, it has to make sense, and it has to make sense, and also most importantly, I think it's a story about how you can, as a partner almost, be part of the team. Oh, Jesus Christ!
So also,
I've just made some random statements because I got really distracted by the game. Sorry.
I'm out of the game, actually, by the way.
I'm the boss of the game now.
Yeah.
So I was coming down from the reactor, and it's Draco's body down, I think, in the reactor, and I just saw Anna Banana work in front of me. Well, in front of me, and I think High Flyer, you're just here.
You think
coming
I'm
from
with
the
you?
other
No,
side.
I'm not.
You're not? Oh, okay. Well, someone was
not.
right
I
with
come
me.
and I saw you.
Well, I saw Rob running around. When was the body discovered, or what happened?
So maybe it's you, like down from the reactor. Is that you? I know someone like walked
I saw Draco,
over
I
the
think,
body
alive.
basically.
I walked past the reactor, and I think he
I
was
saw
alive.
Draco alive too at lights, and after that he died.
Okay.
So, are we
But I
voting
come
anyone,
and
or-
saw Rob, and with Draco on the floor, and after that he voted. He started here.
So I'm going to interrupt for a brief moment. I'm going to ask Kathrine to quit the game because I quit the game so we could talk and move away to a different chat.
Okay, perfect.
Yes. Yes. Sounds like a plan. Leave game. Okay. I can do that. I've left the game.
Awesome. All right. So Kathrine and I will also move to a different audio channel, and then we'll be peachy again. Because although I really do like the game, it is a bit sad for our viewers.
It's distracting.
It's distracting, and it's even worse when I have left the game and you're playing the game and our viewers are left hanging, dying to know what you're doing, which is like it's like a Christmas gift on Christmas evening which you cannot open. Like, it's supposed to be fun and you have to wait, but also it's just horrible. Like, I want to have my cake and eat it. You know? I want that gift. Anyway, so back at it. Let's see, what were we talking about? Let's gather our thoughts for a second. So,
well, no, yeah, I was just talking about how, you know, it's also important to you know, to recognize how important support is, and to recognize, and I think I recognized that a couple of years ago, actually, about how important it is to recognize what toxicity is and what constructive criticism is, and what you know, support is. Yeah. Because you can have toxicity, you know, disguised as support. I think we've all been there.
Definitely.
And so one of the things that I do very actively, very actively, is, and I've found this in myself, I cannot abide people who don't say their opinions. And by that, I don't mean, you know, being rude and being, you know, annoying or, you know, aggressive or anything, but simply saying, you know, but being honest about what's going on in the back of their mind. Right. Because I think it's, I've spent a lot of time also studying, you know, things like body language and things, you know, like tonation of voice and how your body, you know, is interacting with other people, publicly, privately, whatever. But the whole trying to be in sync with what you say and how you act is obviously the ultimate challenge for everybody, because then there's no filter, then there's no, you know, defense. There's just you being you, and are you happy with you, or are you concerned that people might not like you?
Isn't that really difficult with politics, especially where you realistically can't usually do that all the time?
No, I find it an incredible strength, because first of all, you are, as a representative, because this is something that I firmly believe in. Politics is about representing people. And so people need to understand who you are in order to trust you. Or in this case, trust me. Yeah. And the quickest way to trust is for someone to be able to see that that you are in sync, that what you say and how you behave and who you are and how people see you and how you perceive yourself, that it's congruent, that it fits.
Yeah.
There's so many things, and again, we talk about how we've evolved as Homo sapiens, and about how the men would go out and they would hunt, they would kill, and they would have to be alert and adrenaline, etc. And the women would be at home and they would do other things, and but that our instincts evolved through these through the whole fight or flight and nurturing abilities. And so if you read books on body language and perception, the general tendency is that there's a tendency for women to have a bit of a broader spectrum, that we pick up a lot more subtle signals, not out of training or anything, but simply because that's genetically imbued in us to be more aware, because we don't have the strength to fight. So we have to be a little bit more clever, which unfortunately might also be one of the reasons why when it comes to psychological violence compared to physical violence, you'll see that physical violence may
hold up. So you are attributing nature qualities to gender differences.
That's another topic. Yeah, no, I mean, no, but I think we should definitely acknowledge that there are inherent genetic issues,
of course,
and then there is the environment that we are being taught, and that's why we see this development in society now, because we are challenging the status quo. We're challenging the traditional understanding, which is also the traditional genetic understanding, and we're challenging that and saying, well, nobody really needs to fight or flight anymore. Like, there's no need for that. So if we keep thinking our identity in a two-way form, we're losing out on the entire concept of social evolution, because that's what's happening. We are, there are no dinosaurs, whatever, but no one's trying to kill you really by big, no big animal is trying to kill you, and you don't have to go out and collect firewood in order to make a fire. So we've obviously developed a society, and so obviously our roles in society also changed. But I was going to go back to the whole idea that perceiving, perceiving the small ticks, the small signs, the small things that you do with your hands or your body or whatever. I find it a lot more simple to be honest and be congruent. And so, because then I know that what I say doesn't get picked up the wrong way. So, for example, you sit there and go, oh, I'm super confident. Like, do you look super confident? I don't think you look very confident. And it's those things where if you only have 5 or 10 seconds with a person, you have to make those 5 or 10 seconds count. So you can't spend your time, being incongruent. You have to make that impression right away. And I
really see where you're coming from here, and I think you raise a very good point with politics as it's being established right now, because the window of interaction with politics has been decreasing, right? With politicians, where the fast-paced media oriented politics of today really makes it boil down to sound bites, and you can definitely see a problem with that, right? Because then a lot of traditional politicians need to bullshit their way into making stuff appealing. And I think what you say with this, with being congruent with your emotion, with your feelings, is definitely going to help you be come across as more honest, but actually be more honest, because that's literally what you are, right? Am I getting this right?
Absolutely, and not to mistake feelings with being emotional.
No,
there's a big difference between being in contact with your emotions. For example, understanding this makes me angry, or this makes me feel that there is injustice in the world. I want to fight injustice. And you know, the idea that you are that you are fully aware of your personal stance is it takes a while to develop, and it cannot be developed through talking points or just say this soundbite. Just say it with conviction. You know, that's you know, it's not enough. I don't think that that's enough in today's world. That was enough 20 years ago, when you know when social media was just coming out, and we're learning how to engage in new ways. But we used to have political debates in town halls like a normal thing, and if you wanted to meet your politicians, you had to show up, because you might not have a TV in your living room. You know, so now we can just go to our phone and we can tweet at our politician. That doesn't mean that we are in contact with them. That doesn't mean that we understand their motivation. If we allow the political process to be reduced to sound bites, then we only have ourselves to blame. And I don't want to be the one perpetuating such a limited understanding of what democracy is. Representing ideas and representing people ultimately requires that people feel that I can represent them, and that only happens when there's a true connection. And I think we have to try to be courageous in our interaction and develop trust, because what has happened in the last, I don't know, since forever, is that politicians cannot be trusted, and that there's a you know, it's the best option of a lot of really bad alternatives when it comes to democracy. Yeah. But I think, as with anything, you know, if you cook a dish, you know, it only becomes as great as the ingredients that you use. So what I'm here to say is that I think we just need better ingredients, and I want to be one of those ingredients.
I really love this. This really resonates with me. Also with Twister 360, he says, "I love this thinking, connecting our human condition with politics, and it makes total sense." It's it really resonates with me. It's one of the problems I have personally. Is as I've said before, I've been raised quite progressively. But I've also been bullied due to the fact that I am a bit more open normally than, men should be at the age of 11 to 15, apparently. Right? That was a thing. Oh, that's really okay. It shaped me how I was. But it's a strength. And I think it's beautiful to see how the world is slowly getting to realize how opening yourself up to others and not having all those walls in place anymore makes you not just a better person, but also a good, effective politician, which is something that you never really get told when you're young, right? Because you hear that you're lacking rather than or not effective, or you should close yourself off because then you can be efficient. But that's
and I understand that. Yeah, I know. I understand. First of all, I think, Mike, that this, you know, you sharing this is a great testimony to your personal strength, but also your personal path, because I'm pretty sure that you didn't always think of those years.
No, hell not. It was horrible.
As character building. And so you being able to say that now also shows that you've gone through a process of saying, okay, I can choose how I want to use the experience that I had, and I'm going to choose to make it something good, and I'm going to choose to insert myself and to use my experience in life in a positive way, and so that's testimony not only to your upbringing but also to your desire for good. And so that trickles through in your personality, because the moment that you make that decision you think it's just one choice.
Right.
You think it's just like, oh, you know what? It was just one thing, and I chose to go this way rather than that way, and now I'm making different choices.
Mm-hmm.
But that fork in the road has carved out, you know, the path that you are going down on, and we should never forget those forks in our lives that made us choose these moments. And so I mean, we all have moments in our lives that shaped us, that formed us.
Of course.
Yeah. And I think the key is to remember those moments, cherish them, because they shape you, and not let them, you know, hold you down or hold you back, or thinking that decisions made in the past will forever be, you know, oh, I have to be that person who made that decision back then.
Right.
You know, it's a again, like I said, the fork in the road, and the road continues, and the road changes, and it will never look like that fork in the past. So so obviously, what I'm trying to say is, I'm sitting here with a lot of forks.
And that suits you, right? That makes you move ahead, rather than it's empowering. Tying it back into our earlier what we started with.
It is empowering, and I you know, I think that when it comes to when it comes back to politics, we have to, any person who is in touch with their emotions, in touch with their choices, you know, we need to remember that those choices were made probably under a great deal of duress or strain or hurt or pain or joy and love.
That's beautiful.
And so
that's really beautiful.
So using that should be a core strength in yourself. And that's, just to go back to what I said before, I don't have a lot of patience for people who are disconnected with what they say and how they behave, like how they appear and what they say. And probably, you know, as I said before, we've all experienced toxicity in the shape of assistance or criticism, which is more like shut up rather than constructive criticism, say this instead, you know. And I think we can be hardwired into accepting people's feedback without criticism, because we might feel, oh yeah, but I'm not a professional politician, I'm not a, you know, I have never done this before, so somebody else will know better. Yes, there are definitely people who will know a lot more than I will in a lot of different areas. But being a politician, let's remember the name of that word means of the town. Like, it's a Greek word, politica. It is of the town. It is a person of the town. And so once you remember that, you need to, you know, I find that very encouraging, because it doesn't mean a politician, that doesn't mean that you're in a system or in an institution. It means that you are of the people.
Yeah.
And you can only be of the people if you are, in fact, a person with all the faults and all the flaws and everything that comes with it.
And I think that we are digressing from the main topic, but you make a really good point. And I think this is the new style of politics that we're going into right now.
We had quotas also.
Yeah. We also had those. But I think...
I think so.
I think this is the next stage where politics is going to evolve into, especially after Trump and the horrors of populism and the regression. You already see such a huge people's movement. It's very strong in the US, and it's very big in Europe as well. And it's only growing. And I think this is really the counter sound that we have been desperately needing on the progressive side, personally. So it's beautiful. It's amazing. two thumbs up.
Oh, thank you, Mike. Yeah. But if there are any questions in the chat or anything, just let's keep them coming, because obviously.
Yeah. So we have one remark from Kolkoer, and that is only a Sith deals in absolutes, which is a yes.
Yeah, I get the Star Wars reference. That's
good. Yes, indeed. And I think let's just pull another one in, because we should also maybe talk about the effectiveness of quotas, because within Volt we have we try to institutionalize our aim of having equal representation. So one of the big rules is for every there should always be 2 leads. So we have a co-lead position. Every lead role should have 2, and there should always be of not the same gender. To quote that a bit vague, but it would mean that for every woman you should have a man in the co-lead or diverse. And that is one way we try to ensure that there is more representation. More importantly, is that going to be enough?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so, because one of the things that I keep getting feedback on is the people that I onboard in Volt Denmark, for example. It's not because they don't want to be part of Volt; it's simply because they don't have time. And I think if we could look at the 2-person lead structure, which is set up in Volt Europa, and we can expand that to having, for example, 3 people in the lead steering group, we would reduce the pressure on the 2 people, and you would increase the debating element, because whenever you have a 2-person lead group, either you are in sync or you're not, right? And so if you happen to work really well with your co-lead, great, perfect, it's amazing, it's super nice. But if you disagree on something, then it would be nice to have that 3rd voice to kind of come in and qualify the discussion or qualify the debate, or even come up with a 3rd option saying, hey, how about we look at this differently?
Right.
And because we're a voluntary association, it's also important to recognize that it would be nice if, for example, if you're only 2 people and 1 is sick, everything is on you, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And so if you have 3 people in the group, then one person can say, okay, look, I can't join this meeting today. I've got to pick up my kids. I've got a big deadline at work. I'm super sick. I'm vomiting everywhere. And so when you have the 3-person structure, not only would it represent the diverse male-female, it would also set up, or I would say would reduce the pressure. Right. And you might also see an increase in people applying for the lead roles, because it's not all on you. You're a team.
Right.
And I think that could be a way forward. I don't say that without experience, because that's how when we were doing the strategy commission, and in 2019 and 2020, we had 3 people in the lead group. And Daniel and I and Ivan Butina were the first people in the group. And then Ivan had to leave because he was too busy with all the other things. And it was just Daniel and I. And it was fine. But we could also sense that there had been that our debates, our discussions had been were great when we were 3 people. Because it wasn't just, do you agree or disagree with what I say?
Right.
It was about, I have this opinion, you have that opinion. What do you think about these 2 opinions? And there was this, this triangle. And so the debate was better. The outcome was better. The division of tasks was obviously better, because there were more people doing the same task. And I think that would be something that we could really improve on, honestly.
Okay. Yeah,
because the jobs, the tasks that we do, that you guys do on European level, they're so broad and they're so wide, and they're covering more and more areas as Vault Europa grows. But we have, we have North, South, East, West Europe. We also have outside of Europe, Vault Abroad.
Yeah.
And we are going to expand. And so I think we need to now start to think how we can make sure that the leadership positions are not only for those people who have the prerequisites, but that we use the leadership positions to grow people's capacity and grow people's abilities.
Yeah.
So that Vault doesn't just become a thing where you pour all your heart and energy into it, but that you come into Vault and saying, this is a place where I can learn, where I can improve, and where I, as a volunteer, can take something out of Vault, not only as as a political career, but actually as a professional career.
Yeah.
And saying, well, actually, I was a team lead for 2 years on a pan-European organization, helping with developing communication strategies for 5 different countries. What did you do? And,
very impressive.
And I think, yeah, and I think that will also increase because it's efficient and because it has clear targets and because it encourages team spirit. I think that we will see a lot more team-oriented people apply for the European level positions.
Yeah. Wouldn't just one small thing that I think about, when you have 3 people, the equal representation is out of the window, though. Like
that's true.
Usually,
I mean, it's but I think the reality is that we are 75%. Oh, is it 70-30? So the reality is that we don't have. Okay, 80-20. Okay, shit.
Yeah.
But for example, it means that the women who are active need to be super active, and which is a great opportunity. But making the current members active is not solving the underlying issue, which is recruitment and onboarding of new people who can take on the lead. Now, there's a study done in Denmark by a great professor, associate professor at Copenhagen University, about gender, about the gender and people who are in political parties.
Yeah.
And what she came up with was that it takes longer for a woman, for example, to take part in a political party because their instinct. This is going to sound awful. Please just bear with me. It's going to sound awful, but it's not. Okay, just bear with me. But that there's a tendency then for women to like to assume smaller roles in the beginning. Mm-hmm. Like, oh no, I can join this event and bring a cake. I like that. Yeah, I can bring a cake. Okay. Or oh no, I want to join this walk and do this event. I can do that. Yeah, I can set aside 3 hours.
Right.
On that day for that.
Yeah.
But then, because you then need to understand that there are so many different priorities in any person's life. And, hanging out with people without any purpose for 4 or 5 hours is just, it's a luxury that not many people have.
Right. Yeah.
And so in order to attract the people whom you want to attract, you have to have a wide variety of tasks, of opportunities, and most importantly, be able to invite the people you want for those different opportunities.
Yeah.
And so, for example, if you are 5 people and you are kind of the same, you're kind of in agreement, you're kind of instinct. Yeah. And you're like, okay, we need some diversity here. Okay. Then the key is not to say everything that we like, we should invite people to join.
Right.
It's literally about going out of that comfort zone and going to a different cafe or a different part of town, or, doing something differently, doing literally something differently than what was done before.
Right.
And then asking what could make you be interested in coming back. So the invitation is there. You know, the invitation. You
Mm-hmm.
can't force people to join a political party just because it'll improve our average. But
Yes.
but my personal experience with Involved in working in a 3-tier team. Yes, I was the only woman, but it wasn't about that. It was about the diversity of thought. It was about the diversity of opinions within the group that pushed us forward.
So it's not just the quotas, it's really about the thoughts behind it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, but that still makes it still makes quotes relevant, though, right? Because sometimes you just need to have that extra push.
Yeah. Exactly. So before this chat started, before this live stream started, we had that discussion. We said, look, for me, quotas are a step towards changing people's minds about gender equality, you know, and it's a tool. It's like a hammer, and you use that for certain things.
Is there a
and then you put
a moment where you need to stop?
When the task is done.
Is there a moment where you need to stop using that hammer, though?
Oh yeah, of course there is.
Really?
I mean, you can. I think so. I think so, because once diversity, you can also go the other way, where you lack diversity, you know, the other way. So, for example, so it's, if we can look at diversity without necessarily pairing it. I mean, that's the ultimate thing I'd say is that diversity without pairing it to the male female gender would be, of course, the paragon. And if we can look at diversity,
that's interesting. Can you maybe delve a bit deeper in what that means?
Yeah, of course. Look, just like you said, you had an experience when you were growing up because you were not conforming to the traditional role.
Right.
And that's shit. It shouldn't be like that. And so that's what I mean by saying that diversity shouldn't be, in my mind, diversity shouldn't be about male or female, but it's a start. Right. We have to realize that you know, we can't just jump to the top of the staircase. We have to actually take each step at a time. And being involved, we also understand that we are strength and diversity throughout Europe, but that we are in different places around Europe, that we have different systems in place. We have different understandings and different cultural backgrounds all around Europe.
Yeah, definitely.
And so, you know, I can sit here and I can have all these amazing thoughts and diversities. It's not really about gender. It's about, you know, diversity of thought. It's about how we actually approach conversation about traditional perceptions and preconceptions. But in some places, it is about gender, because we need to understand what frames the conversation, and if the conversation is framed, you know, according to your sexual orientation or how you look underneath your clothes, then that's where we have to start. Right. And so, for example, there's a what was it? This was Hungary, I think it was, a few years ago, and I had a chat with this woman, and she was in Denmark, and she was telling me how in Hungary, you know, if you had a child in Hungary, then you would get like maternity leave, was it 2 or 3 years?
Right.
And then usually what happened was that, you know, during those 2-3 years, you would then have a second child, and then you'd get another 2-3 years maternity leave, meaning that you'd literally left the whole labor market for about 6 years, and then who would hire you when you came back?
Yeah.
And so basically the whole structure around maternity leave, not paternity leave, maternity leave, was completely ruining the average chance of an Hungarian woman to have a career, because the narrative was that women would get pregnant and then they would leave the labor market.
Right, because maternity leave is a good thing, of course, but there's too much of a good thing, and also based on a wrong premise, maybe. Am I saying that right?
look, yeah, I mean, this is the thing. It rolls over into how our labor market is constructed. Like, why is it? And this is a pet peeve of mine. Why are we digitalizing and why are we being so much more efficient, but we still work fucking 37 hours a week? Makes no sense.
I mean, you won't hear me argue there. You will not hear me argue there.
It makes no sense. But unfortunately, you know, we have a labor market structure which provides incentive for people to remain in a 37-hour work week structure. And there are incentives in which, you know, it's better if a woman takes the majority of the maternity leave, even though the father is also entitled to maternity leave or paternity leave. It doesn't really fit. It's much better if they take it a little bit later, maybe when the child is older, etc.
Yeah.
And the whole idea of maternity, paternity leave, it becomes a problem because the labor market that we have requires, you know, the absence of parents from their children.
Yeah.
And I'm not, you know, if we've learned anything from Corona, of course, it is that working from home can be really, really difficult, particularly when you have children.
Yes.
So, you know, and I'm not. I mean, I'm impressed by every parent who has in the last 12 months been able to juggle all those responsibilities and having a professional life at the same time. I'm vastly impressed.
Same. My colleagues are having they manage. I don't understand how they are. I'm happy I don't have children in this regard. Definitely. Very impressed. Moving on. Sorry.
No. It's exactly right. You know, and so, you know, when you talk about quotas, and you talk about changing people's minds about quotas, we also have to understand that you know, what is framing our mindset about this? We are being framed by the labor market's focus on a 37-hour work week, 8-8-8, you know, 8 hours sleep, 8 hours work, 8 hours personal life. And so we have to acknowledge those aspects as well. And see how does that actually impact our gender understanding.
Yeah, because I was going to ask, how does this tie in with the problem with Bulgarian women and the 3 years and the 3 years, like tying that back into this topic?
Yeah, no, Hungarian women, and look, but it does because we need to understand which instruments are being used in a society and how they impact our understanding. So one society, like in Norway, for example, they have progressively introduced quotas so that a certain percentage of women have to be represented in the top tier part of a company, for example.
Yeah.
What that meant, and then you compare that to, you know, we need women in the top part of an industry, comparing that with we want people in the top part of taking care of children industry. You know, it's like it's a different industry that people want women to be part of.
Right.
So what happened in Norway, and what is still happening in Norway, is that to meet the quotas, they pulled women up from, you know, from the function they were at. They were like, oh, let's just pull you up to this level here so that our quotas are perfect.
Right.
Meaning that the natural funnel was disrupted.
It wasn't meritocratic anymore. It wasn't based on merit anymore. Or less.
Well, I wouldn't use that term because you don't just pull up someone who doesn't have the capacity to do it.
Sure.
But it disrupted the. It was like, you know, if that's just a five tiers, right? And all of a sudden all the people in level 3, all the women in level 3 get pushed up to level 5.
Right.
Who who are level 2 people talking with then? The people in level 2, who do they look up to? Do they, you know, they don't have the immediate supervisor then. They don't have someone whom they can spar with in order to achieve. So that's what I mean by the, you know, by the gap all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Because you need that. As I said before, you need to be invited, and you need to have an understanding, like, what can we do to make you want to take on this extra task? Now, I use this example when we talk about onboarding, you know, and I said, hey, how can we, you know, how can we make it interesting for you to join us on a more frequently basis? Like, what can we do to help you manage your tasks, and what do you need from us in order for you to feel comfortable? And so when you disrupt that that process of being inspired by someone who is, you know, close to you, you know, then when you disrupt that, then there's a problem. And we see that in Norway, for example. So to translate that to Vault Europa, if we keep asking for you know, each time there's a European team, and we keep asking for the 20% of the Vault members who happen to have, yeah, I mean, if I'm just concerned that we are going to lose the ability of the new people joining Vault to lose the contact with someone close to them that can encourage them to see how they can be part of Vault. Because if you only see people on the European level, then you might not have the direct contact with those people, with those inspirational people, or those people who have the time and the capacity to take these random calls on a Thursday to onboard someone.
Which
is
difficult.
And that's
which is difficult already, right? With the huge influx of new members, it's whole new systems are being shaped in order to actually onboard them.
Yeah, it's very good. I mean, all the new people joining, it's such an, I mean, it's really, really great. It's really, really super. And I hope that we can do, you know, some sort of what you might say, like a basic introduction, like something like we're doing now, where we have a you know, like a values discussion. What does Vault stand for? You know, I would be happy to do a like an intro onboarding for like 30 people, and say, you know, how do we implement European values in Vault? What does, you know, how does that translate? And that you have different parts of an onboarding process in order to be efficient, right?
Right.
That could be a thing.
That sounds good. All right, so it's 11 o'clock.
It's 11.
It's 11 already. Yes. I really like this talk. I don't mind continuing for a bit. We can also play.
I don't mind either. I don't mind either. It's very good. Are there any comments in the chat or anything?
Not at the moment, actually. It's all good.
Good.
All right. So how about we just we haven't talked about Denmark yet. How's the situation there?
Well, it's really interesting because Denmark has got a we like to talk about politics, but we're not necessarily political until the election is on.
Of course.
So the rules, yeah, exactly. And and there's a guy, I forget his name, but there's a guy who said that the Danish people are the most apolitical people. They basically vote every 4 years and then they don't care. And so it's the election that's coming up in November is a local election, but it's a nationwide one. So there are 98 municipalities in Denmark, and they're all up for grabs, and we're running in one of them. And what we will be seeing is that after the summer holidays in August and September, the interest will rise. It'll grow.
Right.
And what I'm very, very excited about is because we can see it now. The Dutch elections are really pushing the. I mean, we're also sharing a lot of information from the Dutch campaign, because this year is the 500th anniversary of when farmers from Holland came to Denmark as per invitation.
It feels so good.
Yeah. They were like, we're shit farmers. Can you come and help us, please? And so the Dutch farmers came up and they helped us, and they created this little community. And so this is the 500th anniversary of that.
That's really
so
cool.
It's been really cool. Yeah, it's been really, really fun. And so obviously just sharing all the stuff from the Dutch elections has been really, really great. And in August there is the Pride in Copenhagen.
Yeah.
And I know that our Val d'Europa LGBTIQ+ team are coming to hold events here in Copenhagen, COVID permitting, but I think it will.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have, I'm so excited because we're gonna have flags everywhere, and we're gonna have people sleeping over here and stuff,
so
and
cool.
we're gonna be a great splash, the really European splash in the Pride taking place about 12 days in August. So great. Great spectacular event here in Copenhagen. And then in September, obviously there's an election in Germany, where again we can replicate all the stuff that we did from the Dutch election, with all the promotions, all the stories, all the networking. We're going to see that again from the German election in September.
Yes.
So building our narrative.
Hoping to share that so much. That's going to be amazing.
We can't wait. So exciting. Yeah. And then October and November. And so there's this momentum happening in the lead up to our election in November, which I'm really excited about, because it's just such a good story.
Yeah,
it's such a good story to tell, and it just highlights how European we are and how much, this municipality where I live in Frederiksberg, I've lived here altogether 12 years, and it's just a special part of Denmark, and super local and super cute, and it's almost like people still kind of take their hats off when they see each other passing on the streets.
Oh, that's really cool. Also,
yeah,
remark from
really nice.
Kolkower, Germany has many elections this year. Yes, there's a lot of regional elections. The Berlin one, that's a big one.
Yeah,
tomorrow's the Berlin one, right?
Tomorrow is Frankfurt, Baden-Württemberg, Hesse. There's a couple of Hesse cities as well. I think about 6 or 7 places in Germany are going on elections tomorrow. So really, really, really exciting, because they've worked so hard. They've worked so hard, and particularly the local election. Yeah, it's a local election, and so you just got to be out there in a completely different way than on a national election. It's about reaching the national media.
Yeah.
But local elections is all about this.
Yeah, and
so
it's
good.
So important in Germany, because as a new political party like Volt, it's impossible to get into national elections if you haven't mustered enough attention in the local elections yet, right? Because you have you have a 5% entry level. You need to have 5% of the votes in order to get into the national elections, which is, it's insane. That's so high. I don't know when the last time that happened was. Do you maybe know, Kathrine?
When the last, I have no idea, because I'm not German.
Same here. I thought maybe you knew, but regardless, we are going to get there.
I'm bad at German election history.
Yes, me too. We are going to get there for sure.
And most importantly, I think, it's, I see sometimes, and I get the question as well. I get, so what happens if you fail in November?
Right.
What then? What are you going to do? What's your next step, etc. And I get why people want to hedge their bets and be a little, because they might think, well, I wouldn't be doing what Kathrine is doing. I mean, if I was doing what Kathrine was doing, I would have a backup plan. I would, But for me, I mean, it's not only about this election or the next election. It's literally about changing the way politics is being done.
Yeah.
And that's, that's a long road. that's a long road. You know, I've
it's a
you know
thing.
the fork.
It's a
the
thing.
fork that took me down that road. Yeah, it's 2.5 years ago I saw that fork. But I like the road. It's a nice road to walk on. It feels comfortable. It feels nice. You know, it's a
moving forward.
Yeah, it is.
That's so
it's
cool.
It's very optimistic, very hopeful, very green.
Very green. That's really important as well. Is that can I summarize it as that these two things are your big thing, like green politics and equal representation and empowerment, or is there more?
I'm a diverse person. I think that when you talk about empowerment, when we talk about green politics, it's not only, you know, it's not election topics,
right?
It's social topics, and I, you know, it's I don't think that you could say, I don't necessarily particularly like to have to reduce society into, you know, talking points. I know that I have to. Intellectually, I know that I have to. And
right.
Communicatively, I know that I have to. But on a personal level, I wouldn't want to limit myself and to be to pigeonhole myself too early on. I know that I have to. I'm holding on for dear life until for a little while longer.
Take them as long as you need, right? That's it's best to stick to those things as long as you can until reality catches up on you.
Yeah, I think so. It's it means that if we can allow ourselves to think beyond the topic and see how it's connected to society and to the people that we interact with,
yeah,
you know, then you realize that topics are not silos. There are challenges that we are dealing with from all sorts of angles, right? I mean, I just, you know, we use the tool of quotas tonight, which is a tool,
yeah,
but it addresses so much more than just gender equality. It will affect the, you know, the financial results of a company. It's shown again and again and again that companies with a greater sense of diversity just fare better. They just have better results.
Right.
And
do you know?
And so,
sorry, no, please continue. Please finish your story first.
No, I'm done. Go for it.
Okay. Do you know why that is? I'm dying to know. Like I know the results, of course, but maybe some reasons, like some causal reasons behind it.
It's because you're able to. So for example, you're just able to reach a bigger audience.
Right.
You're able to be to simply cater to a broader consumer market. So a few years ago, I went to this conference, and there was a woman from a bank in Denmark, and she explained how gender in diversity had a direct impact on their output, and they had asked their clients what type, like 6 or 7 questions, like what type of service. There were like 6 or 7 different types of services in the bank.
Right. Yeah.
And then how people preferred those services. You know, did they like them or didn't they like them? Did they think that they were important or they were unimportant? And what they found was that on those 5 or 6 or 7 services, they saw a gender, like it was almost like, according to your gender, you believe those services were either super important or unimportant.
Right.
And so the problem was that the bank was basically providing services that you can guess yourself which gender that they thought was important. And they weren't providing services towards people like me. So for example, I would prefer things like having
a lack of relatability going on, and
completely.
like no social antennas coming out.
Precisely.
Right.
So I think one of the elements, one of the issues was competitiveness. Like, do you value that your bank is competitive? Like, I mean, and then you're like, I mean, yeah, it's nice to be competitive, but you know, I'd like to have a better relationship with my advisor in the bank. You know, and so so being competitive for me wasn't as important as having good relationship with my advisor. And but then if your products sell yourself as, oh, we're the most competitive bank in Denmark,
right,
then that doesn't speak to 50% of the people in Denmark. And what they found was that while that there was also a discrepancy between who actually spends the savings in the household. It's women. women at the end, women tend to decide which car to buy, which home appliances to buy, which insurances to buy. And so you might think that you, and so traditionally, if you have all these expenses that are being handled by the women, but all the industries that supply those services are talking to the women in languages that, or not, but they're using terms that doesn't have the impact that you want. It doesn't resonate, exactly. Then that's a problem, and they realize that.
Who would have guessed?
And so so when it comes to diversity, it does have an impact on the financial output.
Right.
And it's simply because on a global scale, for example, investments, etc., we invest more.
Right.
And in the future will have to look at, and this is also why people are divesting from fossil fuels. You know, it's because there's a call for it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So it really boils down to have diversity. People think differently. You want to make sure that everyone is being heard, but more importantly, hearing people out is also a great benefit to you. That's a really good statement to make. I think this is you would definitely win office with this one, right? It's a win. Well, it's a win-win situation now, isn't it? When you make it's a one of the big problems we have here in the Netherlands is that there is a huge pushback from certain groups in the Netherlands on equal representation because they find it unfair and discriminatory, right? They are the not all men group, or the all lives matter group, stuff like that, right? They're here, they're there, they're everywhere. And when you hear them at base,
you know what I always find funny? You know what I always find funny? I find it very interesting that when were women allowed into the labor market? It's like, was it the 50s, 60s? I mean, I would be scared too. Maybe we're just, a lot more equipped.
Well, I mean, it makes sense, right?
I mean, I don't know.
You just made a point that women buy most appliances, so they know better what kind of message you need to sell. This makes sense for me.
Yeah, I understand that change is super hard, and I get that it's super unfair to be, told what you can do because of how you look, which is what is happening to, I guess, the not all men and the people who feel that their gender is a hindrance in their career aspects. I get that. I do. And I think this is where it's really interesting, because I don't think there's any benefit for a woman to sit and say, haha, everything we experience, you get to experience that too. Nah.
Right.
That's not learning anything. That's not progressing, you know. And feminism is just another word for equality. You know, it's just been associated with feminism is about women. You know, it's about women's rights. But feminism started in a period where we didn't have any rights, so we had to start somewhere.
It needed to have a proper name.
Now we have.
Yeah,
and now we have exactly. So I mean, if we need to change the name to make some people feel more comfortable using it, it's like, come on. It's just a word. But I get why. I get that we need to. I think honestly that we need to have that bigger conversation about what would be the point of learning. I mean, what would be the point of repeating a pattern which we didn't like, and then saying, haha, now it's your turn to suffer that pattern. That makes no sense. You know, that's not progression. And do you remember, I don't know if you saw it, but you know, it's a beautiful, it's a lovely movie. It's I saw it the other night, in Invictus, which is about South Africa.
Yes.
So for those who haven't seen it, it's about South Africa. It's about the first year after Nelson Mandela was elected president in South Africa, and the struggle for the rugby team in South Africa to win the World Cup, which was a big deal because it would be a signal of victory for South Africa as a country.
Right.
And you know, the whole discussion about reconciliation. I mean, you know, the gender battle has not been, of course, it's not comparison to apartheid. But we need reconciliation.
Right.
That's for sure. And that's, you know, I don't know. I see people actively reconciling. But like I said in the beginning, it's, you know, it's a two-way street. You know, it's about inviting, and it's about giving the opportunity. You know, so taking the opportunity, inviting, giving the opportunity, presenting the idea. So there is that need that we both need to do. Everybody needs to do that.
What
but reconciliation.
If you had a all lives or Blue Lives Matter person in front of you, like what would be the thing you would like to say to this person? Like, he would be open for debate, or they would be open for debate. Let's keep it open. But what would you want to say to about this?
That it's about fear.
Mm-hmm.
You know, fundamentally there is a fear and there's a distrust. And those feelings are, we have to dive into them, and understanding where that fear comes from, because
fear for
one thing is
that person is fearful.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Is it fear of rights? Is it fear of access? Is it fear of privilege? Is it, you know, and we need to, just like I said before, you know, in the world of sound bites, we need to be able to be human again,
right.
and having the human conversation. So that takes a long time. That takes a long time, particularly if you're not equipped to have the conversation. And so equipping people to have that conversation, it can't be done on a, is this fair? Or it's your turn to feel what I felt.
Right. It needs to
not
be about vindication, but about opening
reconciliation.
Reconciliation. This really reminds me of a Dutch politician who was part of the PVV, the Dutch Freedom Party. So for the viewers, the Dutch Freedom Party is the populist movement in the Netherlands. It's a Geert Wilders. He is notoriously Islamophobic. It's well, the antithesis of Volt, really. And there was a Dutch politician. He was called Joram van Klaveren, and he was in he was in Parliament, right? He was there, and then in 2017 he got out of Parliament, and he wanted to write a book, writing the definitive answer on why Islam was wrong and mistaken, and it was a horrible thing, right? It was a threat to humanity, were his words. And in the course of starting to write this book, he found he really opened up, and he really read into it. And in the course of writing this book, he really had to eat his words, and basically he ended up becoming a Muslim himself, and he now promotes acceptance. And his words were that the Netherlands, and I can safely say we should extrapolate this to the whole of Europe and maybe the world, could use a healthy doses of knowledge and less ignorance. So reconciliation were also his words. It's a very inspiring story about someone who got away from his bigotry by reading up and basically acknowledged the fact that he was dehumanizing a whole population group based on his preconceived notions. And kudos to him for stepping away from that. But it's a difficult thing, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I'm always who was it earlier tonight we said there's no was it the Sith quote?
Yeah,
only a Sith Lord
deals in absolutes. Yeah. It's a dogma.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I think I'm always interested in people who come from one side and then skip the middle and just go straight to the other side.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Because it's almost like it's almost like I would even say that if you look at it, rather than having the political spectrum as a line, but you look at it as a circle, it's almost like they haven't actually moved that much, because the extreme is the extreme from one side is here, the extreme from one side is there. They don't move that much. And I remember there was I saw this German television series about the post-Second World War in East Germany, where there was this transition again from being pro-Germany to then being, or some even being members of the Nazi Party, right. And then transitioning straight over to being part of the Communist Party, and because there was this authoritarian need that even though ideologically they were supposedly in opposites, but the fundamental authoritarianism was quite similar.
Right.
Yes, definitely learning new things and getting new perspectives is amazing. I'm just always interested in seeing the people who go from one extreme to the other extreme, and like just.
Yes. So it's a sight to behold.
It is, and I'm grateful that he, it's good that he can bring his soul with him throughout that speedy journey. That's very impressive. Yes. I know. I probably couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Yeah.
I mean, as it sounds right now, you don't really need to. So good for you.
I hope not.
All right. It is 11:30 right now, and I think I'm going to call it a night, if that's all right.
Definitely.
So, thank you so much
very much, Mike.
It was amazing to have you on this stream, and thank you so much. Oh no, there's a huge lag again.
Thank you so much for organizing it. I've just been sitting here and it's slightly raining outside, so there's a slight drizzle in the background, and
Ooh,
I'm
nice.
drinking some tea and playing this amazing game with you guys. I need to improve my Among Us skills, I think.
Don't worry about it.
But really just
You're more than welcome next time to play.
But thank you for setting up this. Oh yeah! Oh my God! It'll be a whole new world. But I think, you know, just again setting up this Twitch thing. I mentioned to my brother that I was going to be on this Twitch thing. He's like, "Oh yeah, great! I'll tune in." I'm like, "Okay, great. How do you do that? I don't know." But you know, it's about, you know, it's about also saying, you know, we talked about how you can get more people involved and how you can invite more people in. And so I hope that maybe 1 person, 2 people might be sitting out there going, okay, this is quite interesting. This is a political party that I might like to follow a bit more.
Let's
and
hope.
see where
That'd be amazing.
And there's a big difference between, you know, following a political party and being an active member of a political party. But fundamentally, it's about taking part in the exchanging of ideas. And you know, you don't need, you know, we're born into a society. You might even say we're born into a global society, and regardless whether we like to or not, we all have opinions about that society that we live in, and there should be no reason why we can't start to call politics simply just social debate, because I think there's a schism there. There's a schism here where it's almost like politics is a separate world. You know, it's this political world thing, and then you have society, and we allow ourselves to believe that those two are 2 different things, but in reality, it is the same. And representative democracy is organized society, and I would hope that a lot of people have seen our chat tonight and are encouraged to think that politics can be different and should be different and should be more about society than about power struggles and
it's
talking points.
As fun as House of Cards is, let's not make the world more like that. Right?
Also, the original House of Cards was a lot different.
Yes, that's true. All right, people, thank you so much for tuning in. This was Kathrine Richter, lead of Volt Denmark, and she talked with us about empowerment and women in politics. It was an absolute joy to have you here, and hopefully see you again later on this chat, and we'll play another game.
I look very much forward. Sleep tight, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.